Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to the CES coverage for 2014. Now, after 12 videos, you may be asking yourself, after 12 videos, what does he have left to show? He's already showed all 4 days, he's already showed the swag bags, he showed a bunch of extras. What it could possibly be left to show? One thing I wanted to do last year, but because my living situation, I wasn't able to do it, was instead of just a B-roll film, I wanted to actually talk about the things that I saw at CES, what interested me about them, and why I chose to film those particular items. However, because of my living situation last year, I wasn't able to do that. And of course, with time constraints right after CES, I was already a week behind on getting coverage out. So I did another B-roll this year. However, I still wanted to go back and talk about the stuff. We're only 2 weeks out from CES, so hopefully everything is still relevant and people are still interested in these videos. So that's mainly what this video is going to be, is I'm going to go back and play the day 1 through 4 videos and just pause them periodically and talk about what we're seeing and why it interested me. Also, please excuse my voice. I'm coming down with a little bit of a cold, so hopefully it doesn't affect this video too much. But if it does, I'll do my best to edit it out. Alright, so let's get started, shall we? Also, I'm going to mute the video so you don't have to listen to me talking over myself or me talking over music. So, yeah, let's get started. Alright, so here I am, the opening of the video. And I'm going to pause it right here because I want to talk about the t-shirt I just held up. Now, shortly after this segment of the video, I said that I was going to go back and get some footage of the vending machine I got the shirt from. However, shortly after I finished this, I got sidetracked by something else and didn't get around to going back and filming the vending machine, so I do apologize for that. However, I did want to take a second to talk about the vending machine because I thought it was kind of cool. The shirt I'm holding up here, basically all you had to do to get it was to send a tweet and be standing in front of the vending machine when your number came up. You had to tweet at Intel CES, I want a hashtag, the shirt size, hashtag, the order number that was on the screen, and then hashtag CES 2014. And as long as you were standing in front of the machine and that number was the number that was on the machine, it would dispense the shirt in the size that you asked for. So that's how I got this one. There was a second vending machine there that was dispensing t-shirts, but that one was to show off this new app that the company was developing. And basically the point of the app was to kind of eliminate the need for money. And basically what you do is you would walk up to the vending machine, figure out what you wanted, you would activate the app. It would detect like what machine you were near or whatever, so you would select that. Then it would give you a list of all your credit cards that you had stored. So it would have like your Visa, your MasterCard, your American Express. You would select the card you want to use. It would ask for your 4-digit PIN. You would put in your 4-digit PIN. And then it would show you the amount. You would confirm the payment. Then it would go back to your home screen on your phone for a second. And then after about 10-15 seconds, the phone would vibrate. And that was to let you know that the payment had been successful. At that point, you walk up to the machine, stick your phone against the little plate, and it would beep, letting you know that the machine has accepted the payment. Then you just push the number on the machine. Like if your shirt size was in slot A7, you would push A7 and it would dispense the shirt. Like I said, sorry I didn't get video of that. I got sidetracked by something else, and I never got back over to film it. Actually, in the Day 4's extra videos, where I was showing the unusable footage, I did have a about 10-second shot of the vending machine, but at that point, it was the end of Day 4. The machine was empty. It was powered off. Everyone had gone home, so I couldn't really get a demonstration of it. So a video of just showing you guys an empty vending machine really didn't display what it was. So even that got cut out of the unusable footage because it was pointless. But those are the t-shirts I got. So, okay, let's continue on with the video. Okay, this item here I filmed because even though we saw a lot of these this year, it was still interesting to me because it was the first one I saw of the day. So the visor here actually has a visual display of whatever the camera is seeing. So as you're doing these action shots using a GoPro or whatever head cam that you have mounted to your helmet, instead of just kind of guessing what you're looking at with the camera as opposed to your eye, now you can actually see through the visor what the camera sees. So you can adjust the angle of your head to better film what you're trying to get. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But again, it's just one of like 1,000 pair of smart glasses that we saw this year. So you'll see a lot more of that as the video progresses. All right, so let's continue on. Okay, now these items here, we saw a lot of last year and even more this year. Basically, since your cameras on your cell phones are starting to outdo prosumer quality digital cameras. What a lot of people have started doing is getting these custom lenses and filters that you can put over your iPhone camera or whatever phone you happen to have and use it more like a professional camera, but still get the good resolution that the iPhone gets over some of the cheaper end model digital cameras. So that was just one of like 20 that we saw. We did see a few last year. If you watched the 2013 video, there were a few in there. All right, let's move on. All right, in this, this isn't the actual one I wanted to film. I thought I got footage of both, but apparently I didn't. This item is obviously a white backdrop for photo shoots. They had another one that was actually encased, so you had like the white walled sides and everything, and your camera would sit through this little viewing window in the front, and you didn't have to worry about cropping the edge of your photo because the edge of the table shows up. You didn't have to worry about side lighting. It would give you a nice overall white light through the whole thing. Unfortunately, for some reason, I didn't get footage of that one, just this one. But this one's still kind of cool because the lights there are mounted to an angle arm, so you can adjust it to light where you need it to light from different angles. And that's basically all that is. Like I said, I meant to actually get footage of the other one, not this one. So, yeah, not really that impressive, but that's why it's there. All right, moving on. Okay, now this item I'm going to let play as I talk about it for a second, and we're going to pause it right here. What this is basically a laminator, but what you can do with it is actually make your own book covers and bindings. Basically, you print out the photo that you want to the scale that it needs to be on this special laminate paper, and then you stick it into this machine. You do the spine first, which is actually in the top. I didn't get a chance to film that because the lady with the purse there was kind of in my way when I was trying to film it. Then you put it into this thing, into the tray section on one side, hold it down for about 30 seconds, flip it over, hold down again for 30 seconds, and then it'll be fully laminated and look like an actual book binding as opposed to a laminated piece of paper. So I'm going to let this play again and kind of show you, so you can see the corner there was loose. She was holding it down. And she just holds this down for roughly about 30 seconds, maybe less. It beeps when it's done. Okay, however long that was, that's how long you hold it down. And then as you pull it out, you see the corner no longer rolls up, and it has a nice shine, as you can see, as she tilts it here. And it looks like a normal book binding. And these are just some other items that people can laminate their pictures to using a similar machine. Here you see some plates and stuff. And this we saw a lot of last year. This has been around for a while. It's basically a camera mounted to a RC helicopter. And this is the control for that. As you can see, it ties into your phone. Last year we saw some that actually ran off of just the phone, like you could control them through the phone. Apparently there was some response issues with that or something. So now they have it to where you can mount the phone to the control, and you're still using the phone as the view screen so you can see what the camera is seeing and where it's flying, but you actually use a proper RC control to control this one. And these I didn't get much footage of because every time I tried to film one, it stopped moving. But basically these are, again, RC mounted camera mounts. So like this one obviously is a low tracking robot. You can let it drive around on the floor and it'll get like a low angle track of wherever the camera goes. They had another one that just like went side to side on a track. They had another one that was on a rope for like a sweeping overhead shot. So yeah, every time I tried to film one of these, it stopped moving, so I'd move over to one of the other ones, and then that one would stop moving, and then I would look back, and the first one I was filming was moving again. So that's why this footage is so short. As far as this goes, you really don't get what it is. But that's what it is, and that's why I filmed it. All right, let's carry on. Okay, we're going to pause this here again. And I cannot think of the name of this company. I have it on a business card somewhere. I'll post it on the screen somewhere at some point when I'm doing the editing of this. But these were actually pretty cool. Aside from being headphones with lights in them, these are actually a headset. So the little metal arm there you see is actually a microphone piece. The cool thing about this, though, is when you don't want to use the microphone, instead of just having to tilt it up and then having it be in the way and catching on things and looking silly, you can actually unplug it directly from the headset and set it down and just use them as headphones. And then when you want to use the microphone, you just pick it up, plug it back into the port, and it's a microphone again. Now, as you can see, this one here is metal, and one thing as I was talking to the guys about this, I was like, the one thing I like about this being metal is it's harder to bend, as opposed to like some of the lower end plastic ones. Like it'll be pointing way out here, and you got to kind of bend it in towards your mouth to have it pick up the sound. And occasionally, as you do that, the plastic will break or crack. And they did have a set there that had what appeared to be the plastic microphone piece. So as I was kind of demonstrating how you got to kind of flex it a little bit on their model, surprise to me, it was actually a soft plastic that actually bent. And then when you let it go, it would go almost back to shape, like you could flex it wherever you wanted to. So where I thought I was going to possibly break their thing, they surprised me and had it flexed to where I would need it. So that was actually kind of a cool feature. They do have some other models that have a shorter microphone piece that actually flips up and conceals itself into the earpiece. I didn't get any footage of those because I'd filmed this and then we started talking to the guys and then we moved on and I forgot to go back and get more footage of the other models that they had. But yeah, definitely check them out. I had KT check out the sound quality of them because he's like the audio aficionado of our group. He has a massive collection of headphones, and he said for the price point that these are, they're actually pretty good. These guys are kind of targeting more towards being a decent quality, low price gaming headset is what they're aiming for. They did have a model mouse that they're going to put out later this year on their desk. I didn't get any footage of that. I asked them if they were going to do other computer accessories like keyboards and stuff. They said that that's planned for next year. I asked them if those were going to be backlit as well because I like things with lights in them. And at first the developer said that he wasn't sure, and the owner who was standing there, he goes, yes, they definitely will be. So he was kind of putting his foot down saying, you know, regardless of what we had coming out, you got to redesign and backlight it now because someone asked for it. So that was kind of cool that they took people's input from CES and kind of said, you know, if that's what you guys are into, that's what we're going to have. So that's these. Like I said, I'll put the names somewhere in the video so you guys can check them out. But moving on. Okay, another big thing that we had this year was glassesless 3D televisions. There were quite a few of these around. The one downfall I see to these, the upside obviously is you don't need the 3D glasses to see the 3D image. However, you do have to be almost dead center of the television. If you're off to the side, you still get the split image effect. Another big thing we saw this year was a lot of curved televisions and curved surfaces, and I think that might have actually been developed to kind of counteract this problem, because if you're off to the side on a flat surface, you're going to see the split image, where if they curve in the corners of the screen and you're off to the side, it can still push the double image enough together that you can still get the 3D effect from being off to the side. People don't have to sit directly on each other's laps or right in front of each other on the floor to get the full 3D effect. So other than this issue, I really don't see the point of the curved surfaces that we saw this year. This is the closest I can think of why it was going to be the new big thing. But yeah, so glassesless 3D televisions. I did get a little bit of footage of it here, but obviously the camera's not going to translate the 3D image that well. As you can see, kind of the split screen there. And again, these are just some smart glasses. Like I said, we saw a lot of those this year. Now, this stuff was actually kind of cool, but I think I saw it last year too, but I didn't get any footage of it last year, so I want to get this footage of it here. Let's pause it here for a second. Basically, what this is like a silly putty or like a gack type of thing. You know, it's basically a goo. What it does is you throw it on your keyboard or on your speakers or fan vents or whatever, and then when you lift it off, it picks up all the little hair and dust and crumbs and everything that gets down those nooks and crannies that you can't really get out that well. And then you just fold it back into itself and the stuff disappears. So I'll let the video play and you can kind of see how they're demoing that in the video here. There he's just kind of wiping it off there. They're pulling a bunch of dust out of the fan vent of the Xbox 360. There they pulled it off a keyboard, and then they just roll it up and it's good to go. Okay, now this item, there's an entire hall of CES that's devoted just to iPhone. It's not really that interesting of a hall because you can't really modify an iPhone case that much because it still has to be able to fit the iPhone, have the camera hole, and it can't really be overly bulky with like offshoots because then people aren't going to want to carry it. So basically, the only thing they can do each year to innovate the iPhone case, other than putting out one for the newest model, is to paint pictures on it. And this one was kind of cool. I hadn't seen this yet. They basically use that holographic image where if you tilt it one way, it's one image. If you tilt it another way, it's another image. And they put that onto the iPhone case, and that's the only reason I filmed this one. Other than that, it's just an iPhone case. But as you can see here, the image kind of changes. I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, now another big thing we saw this year is a lot of, if you're a gamer, you're familiar with the Oculus. We had it back in the 80s. It was called a virtual reality helmet, or virtual reality goggles. But I'm going to pause this here, because there were a lot of competitors for the Oculus this year. But if you notice, what's interesting about this one is that's actually a smartphone that's just slid into this eyepiece that you're wearing. And using the app that they have, you can actually get the split screen on your smartphone, and then there's adjustments in the lenses that you can adjust it to give you the proper 3D image, depth of field, using your smartphone. So that was what was interesting about this. Like I said, we saw a lot of Oculus, I don't want to say knockoffs, but different ways of having what is essentially an upgraded virtual reality goggles from the 80s, which everything that was popular in the 80s that kind of died out in the mid to late 90s is suddenly coming back as new and innovative. And it's really not. It's just the technology has finally caught up with what they wanted to do in the 80s. So, yeah, we saw a lot of that. All right, moving on. Okay, I'm going to pause this here. So, last year, we stopped by the Spider booth, and we looked at their new headphones, and I actually ended up winning a raffle for this new item that they were putting out, which was this little thing about the size of your desktop mouse. But what it was a Wi-Fi, Bluetooth-enabled speaker system, so you could link it up to your iPhone or your computer or whatever through Bluetooth capabilities, and you could carry it anywhere in the house, and it was a speaker that could broadcast the sound, and it was actually really loud, had really good sound quality. We went by this year to see if they had anything new and innovative, and it was basically just their new line of headphones. But the reason I filmed them first is because as we move on here, we're going to see another headphone company called Boom Phones. And as you see Mr. Boom Phones here dancing, you'll notice he has a couple items in his hands. They're about the size of an iPhone, and they're basically the same thing as the thing that I got from Spider last year, except the interesting thing about these ones is you can sync two of them up to be in stereo. So you could have one sitting on each side of you or in each of your hands, and you would have the music in stereo. These link up. He had these ones linked up through an iPhone in his pocket, so he could change the song. And basically, they're the same concept, but they're probably a little bit more portable. They're more slim, so you could stick them in your pockets or something. And like I said, you can sync them up into stereo, where the other one, I think you could only sync up the one. Yeah, that was kind of innovative about that. And then as we watch him dance here, there was a girl dancing with him that I thought I filmed as well, but I must have missed that one, or she disappeared or something. Or she's just staying off to the side of me talking to me about something as I filmed him here. And as he wraps up his little dance, we'll move on to the next item. Okay, now I'm going to pause this here real quick. As I said, with the iPhones, the only thing that you can really do is paint them differently or put interesting images on them. So what a lot of the companies do is they'll hire an artist to do like an entire line of case designs for them. Then they'll have the artist come in and do a live painting throughout the course of the 4 days. And this is just one of them. This is one of the artists. He's painting this live. As I let it play, it'll cut to a couple of the other paintings that he did for some of the other cases. I didn't actually get any films of the cases, but if you watch the video from last year, you'll see like the entire line of graffiti style cases that I showed on last year's video. Basically the same concept, just with a different artist this year. Okay, and this is the Q Nexus. It is a customizable control board. Here you can see the guys playing it as a piano. You can actually program it to be a video switcher, a lighting control, audio mixer, a keyboard, whatever you want to make it do. Basically, you can buy control boards now, but they are form functioned to one thing, and in order to make them do other things, you have to know how to rewrite the code to get it to do what you want it to do and all that. This, you don't really need to do all that because it's designed to be customizable. As I let it pan over here, you can see on the second computer how they actually program it all. That's basically how you set up what you want it to do. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Had a pretty decent price point. I don't remember exactly how much they said, but it's within reason. And yeah, so if you're looking for a good control board, I would recommend checking them out. They were called Q Nexus, as you see there. And again, these are just some more iPhone lenses and filters. I don't remember what this company was called. I just kind of filmed it for B-roll mostly. Okay, and this here is, again, an artist that they brought in to do a custom painting of some cases while he was at CES. The cool thing about Paper Nomad, which is the company that he's painting for right now, is they're not hard plastic cases. They're actually like the softer cases, and the construction of them is made out of like brown butcher's paper. If you ever gone to a deli or a butcher and actually gotten fresh meat and they wrap it up in the brown paper, sometimes they use it at the post office for different things. That's basically what the skin of these cases are. And that entire wall is filled with different size cases to create a canvas. And then he painted this mural over the course of the 4 days of CES. And then they were going to give them away or auction them off to different people for something. It's all written down there on the board on the side, but I don't remember what it said. As I said, this just made out of brown paper, and the purpose is that instead of paying high-end for a custom-painted iPhone case or tablet case or whatever, that, you know, probably 1,000 other people are going to have the exact same one because they mass-produce them. Or if you're an artist yourself, instead of going out and buying a case and then trying to paint it yourself, and then you risk screwing up a rather expensive hard plastic case, which they're probably not that expensive, but you get the point. These ones are made of paper, so you can actually doodle on them or draw whatever you want on them. And if you screw it up or get tired of it, it's really cheap to replace because it's made of paper. And yeah, so you can just kind of toss it out or set it aside until you're in that mood again and put on another one, draw something else. So that's the Paper Nomad. We didn't get a chance to stop back by and see how this painting turned out, but I'm going to guess he just kind of colored it in with different colors. I don't think he did much more to it than what's here. If anyone has pictures, feel free to post them in the comments or send them to me, and I'll post them somewhere on the website. All right, moving on. Okay, and another thing we saw a lot of this year is smartwatches. Last year, KT Data and the group at KickCast highlighted a Kickstarter project for Pebble watches, and they actually did their full-out launch and everything, and had a press conference for CES 2013. So, of course, because of the popularity of that, you're going to see a lot of copycats the following year, and that's basically what happened this year. Is it was a year of smartwatches. So, yeah, I'm actually kind of concerned if I want to start going to CES every other year instead of every year, because usually the year you see a lot of innovative stuff, the next year you see 100 clones of it. But we'll see. I'll probably still go again this year because this coming year, because it would be the innovative year again. But, yeah. Anyway, okay, and this, again, was just cell phone cases. I basically just filmed this for the artwork that they have because I'm an amateur artist myself, so anything that looks interesting, I try and get a picture of or video of or something. And this whole display just kind of stood out to me. I thought it looked kind of cool, so I filmed it a little bit. Okay, and we're going to pause it here again. Now, again, in the 2013 footage, you would have saw the Memo bots, which were little flash drives that are designed to look like different characters from like superheroes, the Star Wars universe, Star Trek universe. At 2013 CES, they were announcing that they were getting ready to launch their My Little Pony line. So that was last year with the flash drives. This year what they're doing is these are backup battery charger things for your devices. And again, they're designed to look like different characters. Here you see Darth Vader in the background there. You can see one that looks like R2. If I let it play on here a little bit, there's a bat and there's some animal critters, I guess. I'm not sure what they are. I didn't notice at the time that the little word bubble says please no pictures, but the girl standing right there didn't say anything to me about filming, so Plus, we did coverage with them last year, so I don't think they'd really mind that much. It's for the media. So that's MemoBots if you want to check them out. It's memoco.com, I believe. I'll double check it and put it in the video somewhere. And another thing you see a lot of at CES is the new line of vehicles from different companies. Here we're looking at, I forget what the first one was, but this is in the Audi booth. And the reason I'm focusing on this car is because of these headlights here. There was something innovative about these, but I don't remember what it was. They look LED, but I believe KT said something about they involve some form of laser light. Not sure. It seemed interesting as he was describing it to me. That's why I was filming it, but I really can't remember what he said about it right now. So, yeah, there's some interesting headlights. Okay, and this car is actually being filmed because we're over in the car stereo section. So yeah, as you can see, I'm zooming in on the speaker system in the back here, and here's another one. Now the funny thing is, as I was filming this one, I'm going to pause it while I tell this story. You can actually hear it on the video if I hadn't removed all the sound and put music in place. But a guy behind me, I hear him say, "Would you like a jelly baby?" So of course, being the geek that I am, it immediately clicks Doctor Who reference. So I just kind of chuckle about it. And then I hear him say, like, I had these imported just from London just for this event. And I'm like, okay, you had jelly babies imported just so you could make that joke. And I kind of ignored it. But there was a reason he was doing it, and you'll see why in a few minutes. So yeah, this again is just the car audio section. So moving on. And this is just another one that they had with headphones on it. I thought it looked cool. There was nothing really that interesting about it. Now this item, as the video plays, you'll see that I was starting to zoom in on it because I was just going to do my widescreen, zoom in, zoom out, done little clip. And as I started zooming in, the following happened. Someone from the back with a floor model decided to drive the car out and drive it around the little circle there and disappear in the back. So I just happened to be lucky enough that I started filming right as that demonstration was happening. KT was still setting up his camera. He was adjusting his tripod to get a shot when that happened, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "I missed that shot." I was like, "Well, I got it." And he sat there for a minute waiting to see if they'd do it again, but apparently they only do it like every 5 or 10 minutes or something. So I got the shot. He missed it. I'm awesome. All right. So anyway, now this is massive. They're, again, a car audio company. And now you're going to see why the Jelly Baby reference was so important. And as you can see here, we have a Dalek. This was a full-size, life-size, to-scale Dalek. As you can see in the bottom section, instead of the little round orbs that they normally have, these are all speakers. And in the chest plate, there's a car audio radio device thing. And the lights in the head actually blink to the audio that's coming out of it. And they were showing this off, so that's why Jelly Babies were important. You can actually see the Jelly Babies in the little yellow bag sitting on the desk there. But yeah, I almost missed this. I just turned around because I was like, what hall are we going to go down next? Are we going to go down the side hall? Or are we going to go back over to the main section and then go down? And as I turned around, there it was. And I turned around and tapped KT on the shoulder, and he's like, what? And I pointed. I didn't say anything, I just pointed, and he turns around, he's like, oh man, that's awesome. He's like, I would have completely missed that. I wasn't even going to look over that way. I was like, yeah, me either. I just happened to catch it as I turned. We did talk to them. I asked them what they were going to do with this after the show, if they were going to sell it or what. They said they are going to auction it off, and the proceeds from the auction are going to go to BBC Children's Charity. So if you're interested in buying this, I'm not sure when the auction is, but if you search the BBC Children's Charity auctions, you'll probably find it. Not sure how much it's going to go for, what their starting bid is, but it would be kind of cool to own a Dalek. Because I originally asked them if I could have it after the show, and that's how we got in the conversation. So yeah, definitely check that out. All right, moving on. And here I am doing the end recap for the day. Okay, so as I end my recap for the day, you're going to notice that I cut back to the Dalek here. And the reason I did that is because as we were filming it, it was just playing music and everything. And when the guy saw us filming, he goes, I can make it talk if you want. And we're like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So he turns off the music and makes it talk. And, of course, it does the exterminate and then fires its laser. He did make it say something else. It was like someone doing a horrible Dalek impression. It was like a high-pitched voice with the audio filters on it, but it didn't sound like an actual Dalek. It sounded, you could tell it was someone trying to fake it, and all it said was R2D2 doesn't have shit on me. But it wasn't that interesting. I thought it would be kind of cool to cut back to the video with the audio and have the Dalek looking at me, do the exterminate line and fire the laser, and then we fade to black. So that's why they had the little cut back in from the Dalek after I did the recap. And then we fade out to the credit screen and fade to black from there. And that's it for CES coverage of day one, my commentary track. I am going to do these for the other 3 days as well, and I'll probably do it for the day 4 extras as well, because even though that footage was unusable, it was still some cool stuff, and I want to tell you guys what it was and why I filmed it. So yeah, be looking forward to those. So yeah, that's it for now, and until the next video, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.